What is up, my friend? Welcome to episode 135 of the Anthony John Amos podcast. And today I want to talk about the importance of seeking to understand. So if you want better relationships, you want to lead your team more effectively, or maybe just want to experience a little bit more peace day to day, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Anthony John Amos podcast, the one and only podcast designed to help you become unstoppable in life and business. My name is Anthony John Amos. My friends call me AJ, and my goal with this podcast is to help you remember who you truly are so you can maintain your center in the chaos, embody your potential, and unlock freedom in your life and business. That being said, let's get into today's show.
All right, welcome back. Now, before we hop into today's episode, I want to let you know about my brand new book. It's called Unstoppable Beacon. I'm really excited about this book because it really captures my life's work up to this point, and I know it's going to help you know really how to maintain your center in the chaos, embody your potential, and really unlock like this whole new level of freedom inside your life and business. And you can get the book today by just going to unstoppablebeacon.com. Plus, when you pick up the book, I have some really cool bonus trainings for you just as a surprise. It's just my way of saying thank you when you purchase the book. So again, head on over to unstoppablebeacon.com to grab that book today. So let's get into today's show, seeking to understand. Now, this is important stuff. And when I started to understand, really implement it into my life, like all of my relationships leveled up, my marriage, my clients, my family, like everything. So this week I sent out an email to my list promoting my new book. And each week I invite people to buy something from me. That's what we do when we're in business. Like, I have this thing, it add value. Would you like to buy it? So everybody who's on my list has taken time out of their life to sign up to my email list. I don't buy lists or anything like that. And I just make an offer and people then choose on their own volition to like sign up to the list. Anyways, so I sent an email out this past week promoting my new book. And the subject line of the email was the book that will change everything. Now, my intention with writing the subject lines, anytime I write an email, it has one specific goal, which is get people to open up the email. Well, this one lady must have gotten a little triggered by the subject line because she responded with, will whatever you're plugging here remove a long-term medical condition and disability? No, thought not. Like, without asking any questions, she just felt a little bit triggered and decided to send me this email, which is no big deal. I mean, people are free to respond however they want. I just thought it was a little funny, a little interesting. Now, she didn't take any time to ask any questions. It seemed as if she already knew all of the answers, and then from that place took time out of her life to send me this kind of like what I would call a salty response. Now, we went back and forth a bit, and the conversation, it never really escalated to anything. It didn't really go anywhere. But my point is, most people don't take any time to seek to understand. Instead, they read something, they hear something, or they see something, and then immediately react to what they read or what they heard or what they have seen. And for many people, when they are in a conversation with someone, they are constantly either listening to fix or they're listening to make it mean something about them. Now, the crazy thing is like I used to do this. It's how I created a sense of significance for myself. And the reality is that way of being did nothing more than create disconnection and superficial relationships. And now I had my world rocked around this concept about 3 years ago. I was in St. George, Utah. I was participating in my very first medicine journey with a mentor of mine. And about, 2 or 3 hours into that journey, he had walked up to me and he asked if I wanted to talk. Now, at the time, I was like connected to all things because I was on a journey with MDMA. I had processed a ton of forgotten traumas. I was connected to what I would call love. And I had access to answers to pretty much any question that I could think of. I mean, they were just coming at the speed of light. It was this very crazy, insane experience. So when he asked if I wanted to talk, I was like, sure, but I think I'm here for you. And he said, yeah, I've been feeling that way since you got here as well. What do you think that's about? And I just like, for whatever reason, just started like dropping like truth bombs on him. Just like they were just coming out of nowhere, just at the speed of light. And I was just like, boom, 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 just dropping like these truth bombs. And it was a crazy experience for me because it was like I was coaching the guy and everything I said, it held relevance, but it was just a whole bunch to process at one time. And during that experience, I don't remember what I said exactly, but at one point, it made the guy extremely upset. And I watched him go from a place of this love and understanding to just like triggered anger. And I remember at one point, he said something like, are you going to come down off your high horse and understand me? Or are you just going to fucking judge me? And this was like a huge moment for me. And I'm hoping the story is going to help you see a big distinction here. See, I remember that day when he said that is like being taken like back a bit. I was just like, whoa, why is this dude so upset? Why is he so angry? Like these were the thoughts and the feelings I was saying, but I didn't say anything because I was just like in shock a bit. Like it just totally caught me off guard because I knew I was really coming from this very heart-centered, loving place. And I remember just like sitting there, not knowing what to say. So I didn't say anything at all. And I just remember watching this guy kind of transform, trying to kind of transmute like his whole body posture and energy that was like an anger. It just like transformed like back to a place of like love and peace. And then in that moment, I started speaking truth, like right back at him again, like just in the speed of light, just boom, 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 just like dropping these little truth bombs. And I remember he was like laying down in the rocks and the dirt, like in front of me, not too far. And then he got up from where he was laying down in front of me, and he like got in my face a little bit, not like too much, but definitely like leaning more like into where I was sitting. And he was like, "Are you gonna fucking understand me, or just fucking stay on your high horse? Because I'm not open to that fucking bullshit." And again, it totally like caught me off guard, and I really didn't know what to say. So I was just like sitting there in silence. I was like, "Whoa, why is this guy so angry?" And again, I watched him like transform from this place of anger, like back to happiness and peace, and he laid back down. Now, I don't remember how, but somehow we finished our conversation in a good place and like the journey was over. And then later that evening, he and I were having dinner together, and I remembered our exchange, and I remember like how intense it was. And so I had apologized to him for that whole exchange, and he started to teach me how his coaching has completely changed. He told me that he too used to just like fire hose people, like when coaching them with perspective, with knowledge, with solutions. And he's learned how to stop doing that and learn before doing that to really start to seek to understand people first, like really take the time to seek to understand where they're coming from, not from a place of judgment or anything, but just genuinely understanding where they're coming from and like what they're experiencing before offering any feedback. And I realized that day that I didn't take time to seek to understand him. And that was the reason that he was so triggered, is because I wasn't seeing him. Instead, I was seeing him for what he was not, right? Which triggered some of his deepest wounds, which in turn created the conflict that we had experienced together. And this was like a huge lesson for me that day. It was a day that really transformed how I coach and how I interact with pretty much every single person I meet. Like I've learned that every person on the planet wants to feel seen, heard, and understood. And when you take time to genuinely ask questions, to see, to hear, to understand them, well, then you can offer solutions that can help them create what they want faster, if they're even open to receiving help, right? And if they are open to receive, then you can give them an answer, which is key. See, I used to think that it was my job to fix things, to create solutions. I used to think that that was the most loving thing I could do, and I was wrong. I've learned that when you see someone as needing to be fixed, what you're doing is you're seeing them as broken, which doesn't feel good to anyone in the relationship. Now, rather than listening to fix or listening in a way where you or I are taking everything personally, now I'm going to encourage you to do your best to seek to understand. And when you do that, it like creates a deeper connection with anyone that you're in conversation with, and it's going to allow you to lead yourself and other people better. Now, coming back to the woman who emailed me the salty response, she didn't take any time to seek to understand where I was really coming from. Like if she did, I know she could have had a potential breakthrough with how she was relating to her long-term medical condition and disability. And, I took some time in my emails to seek to understand. And each time she kind of kept responding from that place of being triggered. So I just like let her stay in her trigger. In fact, I didn't even respond to her last email because I just kind of felt like it was pointless. It seemed like she had already, created all of the answers. It seemed she knew all the answers. And so by offering any other perspective, it would just kind of kept working her up into a frenzy. And so I've learned if someone isn't asking the question, typically they usually don't want the answer. And even in that, there's a seeking to understand if that's true or not, because it could just be a projection if we're not careful. So look, there's a balance to this whole seeking to understand thing, because you don't want to like create the time to seek to understand every single person you come in contact with. So typically with those closest to you, like your partner, your husband, your wife, your children, maybe even clients, I'd recommend that you take as much time as needed to genuinely understand them. But if this is like some person who's going to respond salty to emails, maybe seek to understand a little bit, but don't waste too much time on it. You know what I'm saying? So my invitation to you today is this. Where in your life, where in your business are you listening to respond rather than seeking to understand? And how may your relationships dramatically improve if you took the time to seek to understand before you offered any feedback? Well, my friend, that's all I have for this episode of the Anthony John Amyx podcast. If you know someone who needs to hear this episode, send it over to them in their DM, screenshot it, share it on social media, send them an email, a text message, whatever you have to do to get this episode into the ear holes. And please keep those 5-star reviews coming over on iTunes because it helps get the show found by more people. So thank you so much for being here today. Until next time, my friend, I'm out. Peace.
Well, that's all I've got for this episode of the Anthony John Amyx podcast, but we have plenty more to help you become unstoppable in life and business. So head on over to ajamyx.com for exclusive resources, information, and tools to help you break through to a new level of freedom, purpose, and success. I look forward to having you back for the next episode. Bye for now.